Hi, welcome to From the Heart with Purnima Nagaraja. Today I have a topic for you. Yeah, I always have topics, but this is special. It's called communicating. We all talk. Some of us talk more than others. But are we really communicating? Are we able to convey exactly what we want to convey? Are we getting the results we want? No, not really, right? Because we are only talking, as I just said. Talking is fun, but sometimes you need to have some content in it. Sometimes you need to be able to tell people around you what you feel, what you think, what you want, and how you want it. Typically, in our Indian culture, parents are authority figures throughout our lives. We are taught to obey, to listen, to respect, but not to talk, not to communicate, not to tell them what we are feeling. In fact, a lot of children grow up into very, very unhappy adults because we haven't had the time or the opportunity to say what we are feeling. A lot of times, I always tell this to many people, of course, that we don't communicate, we miscommunicate. We don't understand, we misunderstand. Parents are trying to tell you something and you only see it as, oh God, they're nagging me, oh God, I just need a break from them. Parents are curtailing your pocket money. It's not because they get the kick out of it. It's because they probably can't afford all your needs. But if you talk to them, discuss this with them, I'm sure you'll know what the reality is. And the reality is that they may not be able to afford it. The reality is that maybe they're going through a financial crunch. The reality is that probably they don't believe that you need this much pocket money. So whatever the reality, you should know, right? And how will you know if you don't talk to your parents? Talking to your friends on the cell phone, WhatsApping your friends way past your bedtime, sitting in the toilet and watching video films. Parents really know nothing, right? If you had a reasonable plan, I'm sure parents can also be taught to be reasonable. Ours is a generation, and I speak for all parents, which was completely low tech. We had no technology at all in our hands. And yours is a very high tech generation. So perhaps the generation gap is probably the largest ever. That still doesn't mean you don't talk. I know a lot of kids who rather SMS their parents or WhatsApp their parents and they don't talk. I had a mother who told me, you know what, I'm so thrilled my daughters included me in her WhatsApp group. It's just me, her, our two other daughters and her dad. I'm so happy that we have a group and we're able to communicate. Why don't you talk when you're at the dining table? Why don't you tell them what your needs are, what you're feeling, your frustrations, your angst, your anger? If you don't tell them, they're not magicians. How will they know? They're not mind readers. How will they know? You need to talk about it. You need to talk about your angst. If you have a relationship, tell them. Teach your parents through communication not to overreact, but just to give the right kind of reaction. In fact, you can tell them, Mom, I'm going to tell you something. You may not like it very much. You might overreact, but I really need to tell you this. Like, I like somebody in my class. I have a crush on this guy. Or she might rave and rant for a while because we are all Indian parents, aren't we? But she might rave and rant for a while, but then after some time she'll realize and she'll tell you, look, this is common. You really need to work it out. And as long as you're able to work it out, I'm okay with you. If you need any help, I'm there. But we choose not to tell our parents anything. And then we wonder, why are they angry with me? Why have they taken my cell phone away? Why have they switched off the internet? Why am I not allowed to go out? Why am I not allowed to speak to my friends? Parents come out as tyrants, mean, nasty people whose only goal in life is to make you miserable. Really? And she's the same dad who used to get you whatever you want. Here's the same mom who cooks you whatever you want. Here's the same mom who sits up all night while you're studying just to keep you company. Really? Tyrants? Come on. You don't think that you've done nothing to make them that way? Anger is not communication. Throwing things is not communication. Talk. Talk your heart out sometimes. Tell them your angst. Tell them your woes. You'll find that your mother is your biggest ally, your biggest supporter, and that daddy is your biggest protector and policeman. When you were young, remember you said, my daddy's strongest and my mom's the best. What happens when you guys grow up? You just hate your parents. You hate your brothers and sisters. You hate everybody around you. Why all this? Why can't you sit down and talk? I'm sure you have a sister. Oh, my brother, he'll snitch, he'll go tell my mom. Or my sister goes and tells my dad. It's okay. Sometimes things have to be told. They might promise you, oh, I swear on God, I won't tell anybody. But something is so big, they have to tell this for your safety. Sometimes not telling your parents gets you into real trouble. So many acid attacks, so many people being kidnapped, so many people being molested, running away from home, being tricked, trafficked. All of this because you don't tell your parents. Talk to some random guy on the net, make friends with some random guy, agree to meet that random guy, and before you know it, you're trafficked. Before you know it, you're in deep trouble. Before you know it, you're being blackmailed. Your pictures are being morphed and put on the internet. And then you need mom and dad to come and protect you. How fair is that? Why do you need to put them through all these things? To be responsible can happen at any age. You don't have to be a grown-up to be responsible. You can be responsible at any age. There are enough warnings on the net, enough warnings everywhere that tell you that talk to your parents and do something which they also know about. How many times have you not seen on the net random people from different parts of the country, different parts of the world saying, look, my daughter's missing, please, if you know her, she had a fight with us, if you've seen her, please bring her back to us. And so many times in the West we see children dead, they have been either molested or they have died, they've been raped and murdered. I'm not trying to scare you here, but what I am trying to say is that telling your parents is your safest bet. If your parents think it is wrong, believe them. It might be wrong. If your parents say don't do this, listen at least once and think, why are they saying this? It's not because they're conservative Indian parents who have nothing better to do than yell at their kids. No. It's because they truly and genuinely care for you and truly feel responsible if you are in trouble. To be responsible is not just holding your books and studying and then putting on this big act, man, mom and dad, I'm such a good girl, but outside I'm doing whatever I want. Or mom and dad, I'm this great guy, but I'm going out there and doing weed. Hiding from your parents is probably the biggest mistake ever. People don't like to be disciplined in any way. People don't like to be told anything. True, sometimes most parents tell more than listen, but that's their personality. Why should you also turn into that? Understand where they are coming from. If they are anxious, if they are angsty, if they are over strict, if they are over authoritarian, try and understand where they are coming from. Forgive them. Move on. Try to be safe. Try to have a career of your own. Try to have a mind of your own. And if you want a mind of your own and if you're being boxed into something, you really need to tell them. If you can't sit across the table and look into your father's eyes and tell him, look, dad, I don't want to be an engineer, I want to be a doctor, at least mail him. Find some means of telling them and getting across to them. Parents really want to listen. Parents really want to be your friend. But you see, our culture, the way we are brought up, and so many social norms come in the way of that. Understand that ours is a country which has a lot of orthodox norms. Wherever you are, it doesn't mean that you have to be in India to experience this. You can be an Indian child, born of Indian parents, anywhere in the world, and you will still have the same rules that govern India. Think twice, think thrice, think 10 times. You do have a mind of your own, I completely agree. And of course, you have Google to help you. But mom and dad are also around. Sheer experience, sheer fact that they've lived their lives, gone through their troubles, should teach you something. If mom said, look, I went through this, I was abused when I was a child, don't go and talk to this person, please listen. Don't say, oh, you don't like him, but I like him, I'm going to go talk to him and then get yourself in trouble. You expect independence, which your parents are not prepared to give you. When I say independence, I'm talking about the level of independence. You don't want questions asked, you don't want people to tell you things, you want unlimited amounts of money, you want unlimited freedom, you want to go out and come back whenever you want and no questions asked. Sorry, no go. Seriously. You can't just go out with some random people to some random place, not call us, not take our calls and expect us not to be worried. And then something really bad happens and then parents are blamed. Where were you? What were you doing when your child was doing this? Where were you? What were you doing when your son was doing this? Where were we? We are at home waiting for you and worrying about you. And incessantly calling you when you were not taking our calls. That's where we were. Where were we? We are sitting at home and questioning each other where we went wrong, why we went wrong, and why you're stealing money, why you don't feel the need to talk to us, why you feel the need to be rude and nasty to us. Why? Please talk to your parents, really. Please talk to them. you'll realize they're not such unreasonable people after all. They are reasonable. They're trying to understand. Make them understand. Talk to them. If you feel that they're authority figures, don't pay them back with the same penny. You need to understand that authority comes with maturity and maturity comes with experience. Understand where they are coming from. Let them understand where you're coming from. Strike a balance. Some balances are way out and they can't be struck. Some deals can't be struck, but many can. Many can be negotiated. There's nothing on earth that can't be negotiated to a slightly smaller or a slightly better position. There's nothing in life that can't be negotiated to something better. You need to give it a try. Talk to them tonight, today. See how happy they feel when you tell them what you're going through. See how happy they are to help you and to bend backwards to do things for you. Parents are not all mean and nasty. They're just anxious and frustrated. And they love you to death. Remember that always. See you again with another episode straight from the heart. Bye.